Hello my Space Cat chums, how are you faring? I keep hearing the phrase, in these strange and uncertain times, so I'm definitely not going to be using that in this unfamiliar and fluctuating era. Following on from looking at how to draw people and faces that we looked at last week, I'm going to crack open how to approach drawing a new character. It's me, Jules here. If you're starting a new project or if you're learning to draw for the first time because frankly you are bored of vacuuming the cat and folding your knickers for the 4th time today, then hold on to your horses folks and join me. I literally don't know what is going to happen in this video because I haven't started it yet. I have got an idea in my head about a character, female character that I want to start drawing and working on. I've even got an idea for a story for her to appear in. But at the moment, I haven't done any work on her. So I'm going to grab some pencils and some paper and I'm going to see what happens. Right, so I have here quite a soft pencil. It's a 9B. It's a Caran d'Ache one, but I've had it for a seriously long time. So yeah, it's lasted me really well, this one. And I've also got some layout paper. So layout paper is a bit like printer paper, except it's a little bit transparent. It's not as thin as tracing paper, but it has a similar sort of quality. So if you wanted to draw something underneath, you can still see through it. I'm going to draw, my new character is going to be a mermaid, and she's going to, I've got her in a book that is, that I've previously written about another character called Vincent, who is a vegetarian vampire bat. But I think I'm going to write her into a new Vincent story. So, first of all, I'm just going to draw an oval for her face, and I'm not going to worry too much about what she looks like at this point. I'm going to just draw the shapes that a mermaid might make. So she's swimming under the sea. Let's imagine she looks something like this. There's one arm, there's the other arm. So this is just a really basic, what I'd expect her to look like as she's swimming through the sea. And let's have her face looking at us like that. Okay, so I'm going to tear this off and I'm going to slip it underneath the next page that has nothing on it. And you might be able to just about see through that. I can see the shape. I can see it much better in real life than you might be able to see on the screen. So I'm thinking now about what her features are going to be. So I think she's got quite a little nose, and all of my sort of style really is that I have really big eyes like this. I'm just going to draw her eyes in, and she's got eyelashes, so I'm just going to draw a couple of eyelashes in on each side, and I might just give her top lid. It's a little bit heavier. A bit like she's got a little bit of makeup on her upper lids, maybe. Little mouth. And I'm also going to, now because we don't really need to see so much of this side of her face, I'm going to start her cheek bones from where her eye is really. Bring it out like that. And her ear is going to be here. You're not going to be able to see the ear on this side. And I'm not going to give her a chin at the moment, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm just going to bring that around, so that's her neck. And then she'll have her sort of dress on. So that's where her chest would be. And then her tail. And her shoulder will be, one shoulder will be here. So let's draw that arm in. I'm not going to worry too much about the anatomical correctness of these things because this is an illustration in a book. It's not something that you'll need for medical school if they were going to be studying mermaids in medical school. I would not suggest use this method. And then she's got a little bit of shoulder blade that we can't see that's from this arm. There's her back and her tail. Her tail looks like that. Now at the moment she's looking a bit scary because she's got no hair. So we're going to give her a little bit of hair, I think. Swooshing around. Now she's in the sea, she's under the ocean. Like this, you see. So, and she's swimming in that direction. So all of her hair is going to be going in this direction. And this lovely mermaid has got tons of hair. And I think I'm going to call her Tabitha, because I like the name Tabitha. But Tabitha has got in her hair lots of sort of hair grips. And her hair grips are actually things like crabs. And this one is a woodlouse, because woodlice are crustaceans. Did you know that? So I'm going to tear that off now. Remove that one and again place it underneath the next piece that has got nothing on it, and I'm just going to move her down a little bit so she's more in the middle of my picture. I can start thinking about things like what she'd be wearing and maybe what she'd be doing, and perhaps contour her body a bit better. I'm going to give her, I think we'll give her sort of short sleeves. I'm going to draw her arms back in again like that. Quite happy with the arms. The hands, if you draw something that sort of shape, then that is much more like a hand than if you draw something with banana fingers. A lot of people draw banana fingers, and you know, it doesn't look as good as if you actually go out of your way to draw hands as a sort of characterized hands, if you like. If you want to have something that looks perfectly like a hand, then you need to be looking at a different YouTube video, because this is all about having character. So I'm just going over again more of just adding details to what I've already drawn. There's our little crab bloke. I might have to sharpen my pencil in a moment because it's getting a little bit blunt. So by not drawing in her jawline, I think it just gives her a bit more kind of cute, friendly character. So I'm quite happy to carry on with it as it is like that. So again, there's her hand. Draw her fingers, and then you can draw her thumb in as well. So you wouldn't necessarily see the thumb on this hand because it might be more like that sort of shape. And there's our little woodlouse, or cheese log as my mum and dad used to call them. I thought, until I was probably at least a teenager, I thought woodlice were called cheese logs. And nobody else knew what I was talking about. And it was quite embarrassing. Mind you, my parents had a lot of things like that. They said they made words up that caught me out on several occasions. And I blame it on the fact that they were born in London during the war. And they had to make up their own fun. Okay, so a bit more tail. Now, let's think about what she's going to be wearing. I think she's going to, unlike sometimes when you see mermaids, they have bikinis on or strappy dresses, that sort of thing. But our one, she is going to be wearing more like a sort of t-shirt up the top. So that's her short sleeve, that side. That's the neckline. And then I think from about here, she's going to have her scales. So start drawing scales from about here. And as you can see, if I just take the bottom one out, let's have a look at that as it is now. So there's a bit of an anomaly around here. It should be, so she should have a little bit of curve in her back there, but I'm going to cover that up with a bit more hair like that. So I've got here my Staedtler Mars Micro 0.5, which is both thinner and harder lead. And I'm going to just add a little bit. So I'm going to give her some seaweed from her hair. Like this, so it's almost like extensions. And I'm going to give her some other little adornments for her hair. So this one is a little shell, and she's also going to have a bit of a setting that she can sit in. So I'm going to give her a rock and perhaps the sea floor, some fish, and I'm going to give her some of her jellyfish friends as well. And then I think we'll just do some waves to show where the sea stops at the top, and that's where she's going to sit in the middle of the picture there. And I think as a character sketch, that's a really good start. So I will go back and I'll draw her in different positions. I'll draw her upright, I might draw her sitting, I might draw her interacting with somebody. But that's a really good way to start a character, is just to use those shapes as I showed you to start with, and then build from that. Maybe if you're drawing a person, you might want to start with what they look like. So there's their body, like we were doing in the video from last week. Let's give them some legs. And then just start with, well, what are they going to look like? Perhaps they've got a really short forehead with a very long face, and maybe you're going to play about with those proportions a bit and make their nose really long. Just do little dots for eyes and mouth. And maybe he's got a comb over like this. Maybe he's got really long ears. Perhaps he's wearing a suit and tie. So have a good look at how collars work. And perhaps one day I'll do a video on collars, because I started out in doing fashion after I left school, and I learned how to make a collar fit onto a coat, and that has really helped me to understand how to draw them. So perhaps I'll do a video on that one day. So there's he's got a tie, a shirt, a jacket, and do you think we ought to give him, I know, instead of giving him some trousers, let's give him a pair of boxer shorts, because he's forgotten to put his trousers on that morning. His frilly bits on the bottom, like a granny's bloomers. There we go. And he's got his slippers on as well, because he got up in a hurry, thought he'd got dressed for work, but he'd forgotten to put his clothes on. And that's just really quickly off the top of my head, just drawing starting to draw a character. So from that, you might then go on to think up what he does. What does he do for a living? You know, where is he going on this morning? What would it be that would be so embarrassing for him to just turn up, you know, only half dressed? Who is this guy? So there you go. Who'd have thought we would have ended up drawing a guy who had his grandma's bloomers on? If you want to have a gander at my course Step by Step Illustrating a Children's Picture Book, then I will put the link in the description box below. I have dropped the price quite considerably whilst we are all suffering this kind of weird time and very worrisome time. But if you're feeling your creative juices are going and you want to have something to get your teeth into, then have a look at that. There are some free bits anyway to have a look at, like the preview, so go and have a look, sign up for it and see how you get on with your book. Stay safe at home, even if the weather is good, even if it's the Easter weekend and you want to go out and have some fun with your friends. I'm off to fold my knickers again. I will see you next time. Nanu nanu!